Maybe the balance of the midfield they already have there at Manchester United. They need someone with legs in there who can get around the pitch, and I think Baleba fits that bill. I still think he's raw. I really do. I think he's going to a good coach there in Michael Carrick.
What if Manchester United have finally fixed the one area that has been holding this team back?
Baleba for me. Now, I know that not every United fan feels that he's the right signing. Baleba ticks every single box that our other midfield signings don't. He ticks every single box that is missing in this current midfield setup in terms of the balance and the overall quality. 20 mil, and for me, this is a fantastic signing. It really is.
Because Carlos Baleba isn't just another midfielder. Put him into a midfield that now includes Youri Tielemans, Andre Santos, Bruno Fernandes and Kobbie Mainoo, and suddenly Michael Carrick has something completely different. Options.
This is what I'm talking about. Manchester United need an athletic centre midfielder. 2 centre midfielders wasn't enough. This is the perfect profile of signing that we need.
Tielemans can control the tempo, Santos can progress the ball and attack space, Bruno can stay closer to goal, where he produced a Premier League record 21 assists last season, and Baleba brings something different again. Power, recovery speed, ball winning, and the ability to carry possession through pressure.
There is no doubt about it. We need someone that can cover ground. We need someone that's good on the ball. We need someone that can break up the game. We need someone that can platform Bruno, that can platform Kobbie, that can platform Youri, that can platform Andre Santos. Baleba is that guy.
Different players, different profiles, different solutions. And that is why this change is much more than Manchester United's midfield. Because Carrick already showed what could happen when he stopped asking Bruno Fernandes to solve everything from deep and gave him freedom closer to the attack.
Yeah, Bruno can just create moments, and he's bright. I think that little bit of freedom suits him. He's got a natural brain for what his skills are and his attributes. So he's creative, so let him be creative in the right places. And
now United are building the midfield underneath him. If these pieces fit together, Manchester United haven't simply added quality. They may have finally built the platform that allows the entire team to become something different. To understand why this matters, go back to what Carrick changed when he took over. One of his most important decisions was simple. He moved Bruno Fernandes forward. Under Ruben Amorim, Bruno had spent significant time operating in a deeper midfield role. Carrick restored him as a number 1 and reduced some of his defensive burden, leaving more of that work to the midfield behind him. The result was extraordinary. Bruno finished 2025-26 with 21 Premier League assists, breaking the single-season competition record previously shared by Thierry Henry and Kevin De Bruyne.
Bruno's broken a record! All-time assist record! He's done it!
There we go, Bruno assist. That's lovely, isn't it? He's broken the record, which I think is a fantastic moment for him and for Manchester United.
He was also named Premier League Player of the Season. That tells us something important. United already have their creator. The problem isn't finding another Bruno, it's building a midfield capable of giving Bruno the freedom to remain Bruno. And that is where this summer starts making sense.
First came Andre Santos.
So Manchester United is the biggest club of the world. I'm so happy to be here.
Manchester United officially signed the Brazilian from Chelsea in July, and Santos isn't simply another young midfielder. United's own player profile notes that during 2025-26, among Premier League midfielders aged under 22, Santos had the highest pass completion rate and the most progressive passes per 90 minutes. The season before that, while playing for Strasbourg, he scored 11 goals and provided 5 assists. That combination is important. Santos can help United circulate possession, but he isn't necessarily a midfielder who wants to spend the entire match standing in front of his centre-backs. He can move, he can progress possession, and he has shown an ability to arrive higher up the pitch. Then came Youri Tielemans. United officially signed him in July after he helped Aston Villa win the Europa League. At 29, he provides something completely different from Santos: experience, composure, passing range, someone comfortable receiving the ball when the match becomes slower and United need to control possession rather than simply attack. And that's the important distinction. United aren't collecting identical midfielders, they're building different solutions to different games. Against a deep defensive block, they may need patience and passing. Against an aggressive press, they need players capable of receiving under pressure. Against stronger transition teams, they need physical protection. And when the match becomes chaotic, they need players who can survive the chaos. That's where Baleba changes the picture.
Carlos Baleba is different. Not necessarily better than every midfielder United already have. Different. And that's exactly why he matters. During his breakout 2024-2025 season at Brighton, Premier League analysis showed that Baleba had made 36 interceptions from 20 starts at the point of assessment, second among Premier League midfielders. Among midfielders with at least 15 starts, he also ranked 4th for duels won per 90 and 4th for ball recoveries per 90. But here's what those numbers actually mean for Manchester United. Imagine United have Bruno, their wingers and their striker positioned ahead of the ball. Possession breaks down. Suddenly the opposition has space to counter-attack. That's where the midfielder behind those attackers becomes critical. He has to recognise the danger, cover ground, engage physically, and either win the ball or delay the attack long enough for everyone else to recover. Baleba has shown he can do that, but this is where his profile becomes much more interesting. He doesn't only recover possession, he can turn the recovery into progression. Baleba has the strength to protect the ball and the acceleration to carry it through midfield, so when an opponent presses him, United don't necessarily need the perfect passing lane. He can become the escape route himself, beat the first opponent, and the entire picture changes. A midfielder has to step across, a defender may have to move forward, space opens somewhere else, and suddenly Bruno or one of United's forwards can receive against a defence that is no longer properly organised. That's why Baleba matters. But don't get me wrong, this midfield isn't automatically perfect.
Signing good players is the easy part. Making their qualities complement each other is the real challenge. Baleba is still only 22. The physical qualities are obvious, but there are still decisions in his game that can improve. When should he jump forward? When should he hold his position? When should he carry possession? When is the simple pass the better option? Those details matter enormously when you're playing for a club expected to control matches every week. Santos is also 22 and still developing. Tielemans brings experience, but United have to decide exactly how his qualities fit alongside their younger midfielders. Mainoo's role also becomes an important question, and then Carrick has to manage the biggest issue of all: balance. Because putting technically gifted players together doesn't automatically create control. Somebody still has to protect the centre. Somebody has to remain disciplined when the fullbacks move. Somebody has to recognise when Bruno has vacated an area, and somebody has to stop the counter-attack when possession disappears. That's why Baleba could become so important. He gives Carrick another way of solving those problems without sacrificing the ability to progress the ball. And this is where United's midfield starts looking less like a collection of names and more like an actual system. Santos brings progression and energy. Tielemans brings experience and control. Baleba brings physicality, recovery and carrying. Mainoo offers another technical option, and then Bruno can remain where Carrick has already proved he is most devastating, closer to goal. Last season, Manchester United discovered what could happen when they gave Bruno Fernandes the freedom to create. This summer, they've started building the midfield capable of sustaining that freedom. And that may be the real transformation. Because for years, United have had talented midfielders. What they haven't always had is the right combination. Now, Carrick has options. He has different profiles. He has different ways to control different matches. And if he can put them together properly, Carlos Baleba won't simply make Manchester United's midfield stronger. He could be the final piece that allows everything around it to work.